Yes.
Have it. Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's 12 midnight in India, and I know all of you out there have different times. We have CET, we have UAE, we have America, we have all different times out there. And if you're joining us on Facebook, I wonder what time you have.
Yeah.
And our conversation in the middle of the night in our pajamas are around parenting.
Yes.
Yeah. So who's Isha? Take it. Take it and run.
Take it and run. Well, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We are here together from, like Mom said, from different cultures, different points of views, different parts of the world. But here we are together having a conversation on parenting. And we were having a quick little conversation before we got on over here, and we were discussing about what would it take to increase and elevate the harmony and consciousness with regards to relationships and parents and children with complete ease, where there would be a world. It sounds like fiction a lot of time when we talk about beyond this reality and have a world, but like, what if it's not fiction? What if it's actually possible for us to elevate the consciousness that we all are vibrating at and functioning from, in order to create the relationships you would like to create, not a perfect conscious relationship that you've seen outside of you. So I think before I hand over the mic to someone, I would say and ask the question really, like, what is it that you desire with parenting with regards to your relationship? That is conscious parenting for you.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. The elevating and the instilling consciousness and harmony in relationships seems to be such an outside thing. It's almost like you need something outside of you. You need some dose, or you need some tool that's outside of you that will fix the relationship that is so wrong or just not working, for it to be harmonious. And it's really that search for something outside of you which distracts you from actually looking at what is and acknowledging it as something that you created, and now asking, what melody can I be here with this person? What rhythm can we be here with this person that can actually have us being in harmony with each other? If there's a rhythm, or if there's a melody that's out of sync, it jars. It doesn't seem right. It doesn't sound right. And that's pretty much in with relationships. That's pretty much with your parents and your kids too. So everything that doesn't allow you to know, be, perceive, and to receive what's required by your parents and by your kids, would you destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, bud and bark, all 9 shots, boys, forwards, and beyonds. And if this is the first time, yes, if this is the first time you're hearing this crazy, wacky statement, it's an access consciousness statement, which is a magical one. And you can read more about it in, I think it's called theclearingstatement.com by Dr. Dane here. And there's also the latest one, which I think
is www.theclearingstatement.com.
Perfect. So we can share the link for all of you to get to know more about it. Yes, Isha, you were saying something.
Well, I was actually saying, thank you, Abir. I was actually saying that, what you spoke about, I think you said something about not being in connection or something like that.
In sync with each other.
Correct. That's the word you use. So yeah. So how much of that is actually a lack of energetic congruence in your world? Would you like to speak a little about energetic congruence?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So energetic congruence really truly is when you are so present with your ask. You're so present with your ask that you are aware of what action is required to have that show up. You're so present with, I am asking for a different way that's possible with parenting, from a space of, okay, what action is required now? That is you being energetically congruent with it.
Yeah.
But when you're not energetically congruent is when you're asking, but you're not really present with your ask. So, you may be asking for something, but instead of it actually taking a life form of its own, because you're so present with it, it kind of falls flat. So the universe, it doesn't even get to the universe. The universe doesn't even hear your ask, because it doesn't really fly. It doesn't really expand. It doesn't really go there. So that's the energy. When you are being so present with your ask, you're actually willing to be and to take every action required for it to show up as your reality, where you have no one to blame, where you have, you don't choose to be the victim. You look at yourself and you be like, okay, what action am I not willing to take that if I would take it would change this? And now being present with that. So that's energetically congruent for me.
Love that. Love that. Also, how many times do we really look at energetic congruence when when we're looking at our relationships? How many times is it about more about proving that we're a good parent or a good child, um proving that we are doing the best we can with regards to relationships? um Fighting for and fighting against is more common. Avoiding and defending with relationships is more common than actually
Mm,
looking at, are you really just energetically congruent with what you truly desire with regards to your relationship? Because
yeah.
energetic congruence is such a huge energy and huge topic in our worlds with regards to consciousness. Because one thing is your ability to ask, and another thing is your ability to take action with your ask. And action plus ask in my world equals energetic congruence.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
And your, what if your energy is all that is required to be and have in the world for you to have the energetic congruence that you truly desire to be? What if that is something you already are? It's not something you have to look for outside of you as though it's missing in your life. But what if you actually already are that energetic congruence with your being? And what if that is all that is really required for you to be?
And that is so beautifully said. And going back to the previous, to the initial conversation that we had around the harmonious relationships that you have. So when you're
Yeah.
actually being when you are actually being energetically congruent with your asks, is when there's harmony. It's when you're asking for something, but there is no energetic congruence with it, is when there's a disharmony. Because the disharmony comes with yourself. The conflict is with you. You may be projecting it at something outside of you, but it's actually with you.
Yeah.
So how many of you as parents have the conflict going on within you that you're directing and projecting at your kids? Oh, Lawrence
Mm.
is like, no, not me again. Right on good bad, but nine shots, boys, foreheads, and beyond.
And another thing is, how aware are you as parents of how a lot of parents are doing parenting in the world? And what if you do not have to mix that up as yours? And or what if you don't have to pretend as though that is yours? What if it's not? And what if you could allow yourself to know that your reality with parenting and your reality with children and parents, it's so different to what anything really or anyone really knows over here on this planet, because knowing is something that is truly yours and truly different. It can never be something that can be mixed up with anyone else's reality.
We have Abir, who is a lovely mom here. Abir, what are the challenges, or what is the one the question that's like that burning question in your world as a parent?
As a parent, like what I struggle with sometimes is um that harmony that you're talking about. Like
Yeah,
a lot of times I have a very beautiful communion with my son, and but he's also a very aware kid. And there are times that he may, I don't know what he gets aware of, and then he just starts like acting up. And I'm like, what do I do to help him? Like, why am I not getting it? Like, what do I say here? I use the tools, and then it takes time to settle things down. But in that moment, like my question is that um what would it take for me to just instantly know like what he requires and be that for him,
that's a great
rather
one.
than struggle with the what do you call that, like outbursts, or just like um ex- explosions of emotions.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Isha, you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. I think we both can.
Yeah,
Um, well, kids, infinite beings in little bodies, are beings that are actually so aware of what is going on in every single person's world. And one of the things that they catch on to, along with everything else, is the energy of judgment, the energy of projections, the energy of, expectations. And that does not make sense to them in their world. Judgment, expectation, projections is not their reality, because it's a finite reality, and they truly are infinite. And a lot of times what's going on is, and this a lot of time what goes on for children is that they pick up on projections, expectations, and judgments, and they go into fighting against, and um they go into a lot of um fighting for their reality and fighting against the finite reality. And what if you could ask that question of, what does he require me to be right now that I am not being over here?
yeah,
That if I would truly be for him, would out create everything that he's actually asking for with this action, with this behavior of his. Always acknowledge the being, not the behavior. It's one of the tools that I remember so clearly. Always
yeah.
acknowledge the being of the child, not the behavior of the child. Because what parents usually do is they acknowledge the behavior,
As
but
good or
we leave
bad.
the being out. Correct.
Yeah,
What
Hmm.
if you could acknowledge the infiniteness of the being that could change the behavior that is occurring?
Wow. And we get so caught up in the behavior that
yeah,
we disconnect with the
Don't
being.
acknowledge the being.
yeah. Because you go into the judgment of the child based on the behavior.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is like what you said, Isha, in the beginning, that as an infinite being, they're so aware of, the projections, expectations,
Yeah.
judgments. And it's like an instant, yeah, and wow. So in that case, then like you just ask to be more barriers down and more infinite with them.
A great
What if
tool.
you
Sorry, go ahead.
what if you could ask to be more present with the reality of infiniteness that is true for you? That would
Hmm.
empower your child to be present with the reality of infiniteness that is for him.
Wow,
Yeah,
beautiful.
play with that.
Mm.
Mom, you were saying something.
I'm just soaking in what you just said. That was beautiful. Mm.
Yeah. Always inclusion, never exclusion. Consciousness is all. What is consciousness? Consciousness is includes everyone and everything, including yourself. The second we go to excluding ourselves from the computation is when you're 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 forgetting that you actually are the source of everything that is occurring around you.
And that, when you said you exclude yourself. So when you exclude yourself, you make it all about just the behavior. Because if you were to include yourself while your child was acting up, would you really lose yourself? Or would you be so present with the situation because you didn't exclude yourself? So you would still know what's true for you in that moment. But most of us tend to exclude ourselves in that moment because everything that is focused on is the behavior of the child and how do I solve this problem? How do I fix him in this moment? How do I get him to stop misbehaving? It's all about that behavior. So it's total separation from the infiniteness of you, and you've actually gone into the stickiness of the problem. And now you're a part of the stickiness of the problem, trying to solve the stickiness of the problem while being a part of it all. You can only change it if you actually step out and be you, look at it, acknowledge it as something that's not contributing, include you in that, and now ask, what can I be here? What's required here? Maybe ask him a question. Hey, what do you trying to get with this behavior? Or what do you think would show up if you behave like this? Or a simple question like, hey, who are you being? Often that question in itself gets them to be so present with, oh, who am I being? Oh, I'm being my friend from school. I saw him do this. Okay, you're being your friend. What happened when he did this? He got what he wanted. Okay, so is there a different way that you can ask for what you want? But that requires you to include yourself in the communication. A different way that's possible, which requires, which does require total presence, energetic congruence, and inclusion.
I
And
think
you know what?
motherhood has been a lesson in getting present.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
yeah. I often
Another
say
thing
kids,
I would
yeah.
no go on. I'll add after you.
And
Continue.
I often say that kids are here just to facilitate us into what we are not willing to be.
Wow. Oh my God.
So what if
And
you could just choose to be it? So they could stop. They could start to be something different. Yes,
also
Laura.
another thing is, what if, yes, presence, yes, all of that, but what if it just starts with a desire that you have and an ask? A lot of people that are hearing this may be like, presence, what? Energetic congruence, what? Huh? And it's okay for all of you that are like, what is going on? This is a
I need my
It's okay.
dictionary. These are big words.
Yeah. What if your desire to have something different and your desire for a beautiful relationship and whatever that may be, what if it's your desire of the relationship you would like to have is all that is ever really required for change?
Hmm.
You know, we all say consciousness, we all say oneness, and these all are defined differently according to each one of our realities, but the truth of it is one. The truth of what is true about consciousness is one, right? But we could all have and perceive it differently. But what if we can all start with just being happy? What if that is consciousness? What if it's not, complicated? And what if it's not about definitions? What if we can all just start with happiness?
It's
And
just
then go from there.
Yeah. And then go from there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, any questions? Anybody? All right.
Enough. All
Lovely.
right. We've had beautiful people join us online on Facebook. Just acknowledging you all over here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for
Thank
showing
you.
up.
Thank you, lovelies. Thank you.
Yeah.
Truly. Yeah. And we do, if you would like to know more about parenting, if you would like to know more about a different way of parenting, we do have an introduction, and I think Abir, you could take that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We have the intro to Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids on the 5th of September. That's coming up in 4 days, basically. So we're going to share the links at the bottom in the comments. So if you'd like to join, there's no prerequisite, and it's just $75 for, I don't know what, 2 hours worth of change. I mean, 2 hours for, I don't know, lifetime's worth of change. And
Yeah.
then we have the Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids 2-day class, which is starting on the 10th of September. So that will also, we will be sharing the links and the details on the prerequisites, etc. So if anybody wants to join, get in touch. I'll share my details down below.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much. And maybe we can also put the registration link for
Yeah.
details as well
Yeah.
in there. And for the introduction, mom will be in the advanced body class in Paris. So it's going to be a beautiful energy. It's going to be a
Yes.
very, I wonder
Yeah.
what that can create and how much change that can trickle into
Yes.
everyone's worlds.
Truly, truly. I am also wondering, because I'm just looking at that energy already. I fly out to Paris tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to the advanced body class. This is going to be my second one. And in Paris again. My previous one also was in Paris, about 3, 4, I don't even remember how many, 5 years back or
Yeah,
something.
about 5 years
And
ago.
yeah, and the body is excited to be there. And I'm really wondering what can we be, what can we receive, what can we all receive, and what energy can percolate into each one of you, into the world, and what energy can that mutate, shift, and transform as your reality.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're all invited, and feel free to get in touch with our lovely hosts, and look
And I
forward
will
to
be
seeing you.
joining you from California. Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful
Sunny, very
California.
sunny right now,
Yeah.
California.
So if you want the sun,
Yeah.
yeah,
But truly, um, I wonder what the earth is contributing to this particular class and
yes,
what we can change for the earth.
yeah,
That is my ask and my question as well. And each one of our bodies are connected to the earth differently. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm curious. I am ready to facilitate.
totally. Me too.
Oh,
It's actually I really liked what you just said, Isha. That each one of us is different from a different part of the country, part of the world, not country, but part of the world. There's UAE. Abir is from UAE, and Laurent's from France. Isha's right now in California. I'm in India. Paru's in India, and we also have Romania joining us, and a whole lot of other people around the world, contributing and asking for this class. And I'm really wondering, like Isha said, our bodies are a part of the earth, and the earth is a part of our bodies. And I really wonder, what can we all contribute to the earth that we haven't yet acknowledged?
yeah. And what is the earth facilitating us into, guys?
Yeah.
I wonder.
I wonder too. So looking forward to the introduction and the 2-day class. If you want to hop on for just the introduction, you're more than welcome. If you want to take a deep dive and just go for this 2-day CPCK, you're more than welcome. And if you want to do
Yeah.
both, you're more than welcome. So see you all, lovelies.
Thank
And
you
thank you.
guys for a
Thank you so much.
wonderful conversation.
Thank you so much. Good
Bye
night.
bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.